Happy Tuesday, getting ready to wrap up February 2023. I am Dan Kuntz. This is Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. This is it. February is a done deal. At midnight tonight, we welcome March, but you wouldn't know it by looking outside of our window. Just as predicted, we had some snow yesterday afternoon, overnight, tapered off right around 4 o'clock this morning. Not a lot of snow, about an inch. Pretty wet stuff. Most of the major roadways and arterials are okay. You're good to go. Side streets, parking lots, a little slippery here and there. But yeah, the snow came, and it's February. It's still winter. Will be for 3 more weeks before we get the spring solstice coming our way. But all in all, it's not going to be such a bad commute this morning. However, as the snow melts and then refreezes overnight, black ice could be a situation, because when we get snow on the ground, the temperature is always a little bit cooler, and it is. It's 25 degrees outside of our studios. Forecast details are coming up. Quick heads up, they're doing avalanche control work right now on US 2 Stevens Pass. They just began that right at 7 o'clock. You know how these things work. They have it closed right at the summit, about that 5-6 mile stretch on either side of the summit of Stevens Pass, and they shoot the explosives into the hill. The snow comes down, they clean it up, they open the highway. How much snow really determines on how long Stevens is going to be closed, but right now it's closed for avalanche control work. If they open up between now and the time this show ends, well, be sure to let you know. In the back half of the program, had a great chance to talk to Jamie Johnson. She is the curator of education and programs at the Wenatchee Valley Museum and Cultural Center. They like to get the kids into the museum to find out and learn cool things and learn about the history of the valley. Jamie does a really good job, and she likes it too. And Jamie will be my guest in the back half of the program. We have a lot of news to get to. Going to talk a lot of hockey. Home stretch for both the Seattle Kraken and the Wenatchee Wild. The Wild only have 7 games left in the regular season. Kraken have about 20 games left, trying to improve their position in the playoffs. Both teams are hoping to do that. We'll talk about that when we get to sports and all kinds of other cool stuff as we get you going on this last day of February. And let's go ahead and take our tour. Because of the low clouds and fog, limited cameras this morning, so we have to use some of the lower ones, and that includes that camera right there on the roof of the Cascadian in downtown Wenatchee, pointing to the north. Coast Hotel, Bob's Classic, the American Legion Hall, the KPQ building. As you can see, the roadways on the avenue anyway are pretty much bare and wet, a little gloppy, and that's really about it. The plows got out and got the job done. Wenatchee Public Works out there early, and I'm sure county road crews and state patrol and all that other stuff, State Department of Transportation, they've been out doing their job too. So the roadways, again, aren't too bad at all. That's one view of the Cascadian. Let's go to the other view. Let's flip it around and point the other direction. We say good morning to the Pybus Public Market. Went and visited Travis yesterday. Travis Hornby, general manager of the Pybus, will be profiling some Pybus businesses over the next few months and giving away some gift certificates. Good morning to Pybus and Works Gym and all those good folks, and the mighty Columbia River. Let's head to our very own parking lot. There we go. Let's take a look at the wild huckleberry. Again, cameras are kind of limited, although it looks like the clouds are starting to thin out a little bit up on Wenatchee Heights. That's from basically a camera on top of this very building. And let's head to Badger Mountain in East Wenatchee to look out over the Wenatchee Valley. Look at that. Everything's covered in a nice light layer of snow. We are going to have some snow melt. We'll be above freezing today, but interesting weather phenomenon yesterday. Our high temperature on Monday, 29 degrees at 1:18 in the morning, and then it gradually got colder. Now, normally our overnight low would be about 1:18 in the morning, not our daily high. And normally we're supposed to be at 46. It was another cool day yesterday, and this cold weather pattern is going to continue. In fact, we have the long-term forecast from the Climate Prediction Center. This takes you through the first full week in March. They issued this yesterday, and as you can see, we have a very good chance, almost 100% chance of seeing our daily temperatures below normal in many locations, well below normal. It looks like we're going to be off to a very cold start for the month of March. And as far as precipitation is concerned, about normal, about a 50-50 chance of normal precipitation. And as the days get longer and the afternoon temperatures get a little bit warmer, we're going to be out of that possibility of snow as we get deeper and deeper into March. But we're not there yet. From our friends at Apple Valley Honda and the National Weather Service, clear skies later on as the day progresses. The clouds will begin to burn out. We're pretty much done. So clouds in the morning, sunshine in the afternoon, still a couple of stray snowflakes in a few locations. High today of about 37. 19 for the overnight low with clear skies. So again, the snow will be melting on the area streets and sidewalks and parking lots, and then it will refreeze. As soon as the sun goes down, it will get quite cold rather rapidly. By the way, 11 hours and 1 minute of daylight. We're past the 11-hour mark on daylight. We'd like that. Sunshine tomorrow and a high of 38. Again, our normal high is 46, so cool still. Warmer still with a chance of a rain-snow mix on Thursday with a high of 44 degrees, a brief cool down on Friday, and then another system is expected to roll in Friday night into Saturday. The snow level Friday night is going to drop all the way down to 900 feet. That's us, folks. So we could very well wake up with some snow on Saturday morning. We have about a 70% chance of snow on Saturday, at times mixed with rain. So we're not done with the snow yet. So as we welcome the first weekend in March, it's going to feel more like the first weekend in February. And all of those temperatures that you see, those afternoon high temperatures, are all below normal. We're off to a fairly wet and cold start for the month of March. All right, 6 minutes after the hour, we got the news that you need to get your Tuesday going. We'll have that for you next. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Live channel.
Central Washington Water is your solution for problem water. Whether you're on a well or municipal water, they can design a clean water system custom to you. Soft water eliminates water spots and scaling on fixtures. It protects appliances from hard water damage, saving you money. Soft water reduces soap usage that causes skin irritation and is a healthier choice to drink. Call for a free in-home consultation or stop by the store to have your water tested. Central Washington Water, your best water solution for home, pool, and spa.
Badger Mountain Brewery is your cure for boredom. Jam Night Mondays. Trivia Wednesdays. Live Music Fridays. And Sunday Brunch. There's always something brewing at Badger Mountain. So come join the party.
Pretty dense clouds right now. We are at 25 degrees. Clouds will be thinning out. We'll see some sun breaks this afternoon. High of about 37. Pretty cold for the overnight lows for the next couple of days. And then another system will bring us another round of snow and cold temperatures for the first weekend in March. It's 8 minutes after the hour. A Wenatchee man charged with second-degree rape and unlawful imprisonment was acquitted Friday by a Chelan County jury. 26-year-old David Ernesto Lopez was accused of sexually assaulting a woman in December of 2020 and keeping her confined in his McKittrick Street apartment overnight. The alleged victim testified during the trial, but it took only 45 minutes for the jury to acquit Lopez on Friday. Defense attorney Nicole Hankins said there were contradictory statements about the night of the incident. In the days before his arrest, Lopez became known for leaving a taunting comment on the Wenatchee Police Facebook page when they sought public assistance in locating him. He spent 10 months in jail before being released on bond in December of 2021. The Washington State Court of Appeals has stepped in to a lawsuit against the state over the death of a 2-year-old East Wenatchee boy. Back in October, Chelan County Judge Kristen Ferreira turned down a motion to dismiss the case against the Department of Children, Youth, and Families, accused of failing to intervene in the abusive home life of Rustin Ackerson. Rustin died in 2017 from massive brain trauma. Now, his father says that could have been prevented if DCYF had sufficiently probed complaints against the child's mother and her boyfriend. 10 days ago, the Court of Appeals said it will review the case to assess whether DCYF is immune from liability. A civil trial was due to start next month. The appellate decision will put that process on hold until the higher court hears the current case. A judge has dismissed major claims in a lawsuit brought by Mission Ridge Ski Resort, claiming that Chelan County unlawfully interfered with its bid for expansion. Okanagan County Judge Robert Grimm granted summary judgment to the county on Thursday, dismissing counts of conspiracy, tortious interference, and public records violations. This suit brought back in 2021 by the Mission Ridge ownership company Tamarack Saddle LLC. The ski resort alleged that the county and its Natural Resources Department delayed and mishandled the approval process for its proposed 500-acre expansion. It would add a new lodge, townhouses, duplexes, an outdoor amphitheater, and other amenities to the existing ski area. Chelan County refused to comment. When we asked about the judge's ruling, Mission Ridge's attorney, Clay Gayton, said, and I'm quoting now, "We were disappointed with the result and considering our options on appeal," end quote. Confluence Health is updating their vaccination policy for employees. Staff who worked remotely and received religious or medical accommodations are now able to join meetings and events on site and may return to on-site work should space become available. Confluence Health will also welcome applications from prospective and former employees who may need religious or medical exemptions. The COVID-19 initial series and all standard vaccinations are still required for employees unless they have an approved medical or religious exemption. Those who meet the requirements can return on site beginning tomorrow, March 1st. And the city of Wenatchee has its first tax increment district. On Thursday, the city council, minus Mayor Frank Kuntz and a council member, approved the North Wenatchee Avenue TIF. That's in the area that formerly housed the Washington DOT and several warehouses that were destroyed in the Sleepy Hollow fire back in 2015. The district gives the city new bond power to help finance infrastructure improvements and attract new development within its boundaries. The council approved the measure unanimously.
The ordinance that is in front of you tonight would be to set the district, to set the boundary, and then to allow us to then send that over to the assessor's office so that she can start collecting that in next year and to start to collect against that.
Are there any downsides to this? Say that after the termination, the value of the properties didn't go as high as we expected, and so therefore there's a difference in the values?
There's no real downside, so that's a great question. So what's on the screen here is a projected value of what we could collect over the next 25 years. It's at $4.4 million. That's based on the assessed value of $50 million. We really don't know, right? We can't really control it. We can control it potentially on our property. We're doing some development agreements with some agencies that we know that's going to develop here, and that's what's going to look like. But timing, this is kind of what we've guessed could happen. We're investing that money anyhow, right?
Yeah.
So,
but what happens? I mean, they say yes, we're going to go forward with this based on your numbers, but in termination period, it's only $3.5 million instead of 4.4.
There's no risk to anybody other than ourselves that we didn't collect as much as we would initially anticipate. I guess, is that the answer to your question? Is that what you're looking for? Yeah. So we are hoping to collect for at least 4.4. If that doesn't capitalize.
But if we don't, we're just out the money.
Right.
Okay.
And finally, CMI Orchards announced earlier this week their new Columbia Fruit CEO. His name is Brett Reeser. He was most recently the CEO of the Oneonta Trading Corporation. He's going to take over the role. Reeser is a Wenatchee native, graduated from Washington State University, has a variety of experiences in the tree fruit industry. His past positions also include working as an industrial engineer for Conagra Foods and as general manager for Custom Apple Packers. The current CEO of Columbia Fruit, Mike Wade, will transition to the role of chairman of the board. Reeser begins his new job tomorrow. Best of luck. That's what's making news. At 14 minutes after the hour, Grant and Eric and Jefferson and Jordan and Mac and Tucker, I guess, he helps out a little bit. We'll all put together the news for you. We'll gather the news, disseminate the news, and it comes your way at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock on our YouTube page, on our homepage, and on our Facebook page, and also on television. And with a preview, here's Grant Olson.
Good morning, Dan. Coming up tonight on the NCW Life Evening News, a chance for snow again today. It will be warmer, though, and tomorrow. We'll have your complete details coming up in your North Central Washington weather forecast. And in sports, Eric Granstrom will take a look at upcoming state high school basketball tournaments, and we'll have the latest from spring training baseball. That and all the day's news stories coming your way tonight at 5, 6, and 10 on the NCW Life Evening News. We hope to see you then. Dan?
Thanks, Grant. I make a point of watching the news. I hope you do, too. And if something out there catches your eye, thinks maybe that merits our attention, get a hold of us. You can email us directly, news@ncwlife.com. You can go to our Facebook page. You can go to our homepage. You can pick up the telephone and give us a call at the number at the bottom of your screen. When we come back, let's talk hockey and a little Mariner baseball. Sports, 1 minute away. You're watching Wake Up in Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
I'm Brian Thorpe, and I'm proud to say that Global Car Care is growing. We always do the right thing, and because of that, we're busy, and it's time to hire an experienced automotive technician. We spend as much time with our coworkers as we do our own family. I want them to understand they're not a number here. They're a person with a family, and I want them to be part of this family too. Do you want an owner that understands and respects what you do every day? I'm that guy. Our compensation is the best in the area. I want you to have your career with us.
All paws on deck as Ryder and the crew set sail in Paw Patrol Live, the great pirate adventure. For more information, you can go to pawpatrollive.com.
Playing Town Toyota Center March 21st and 22nd. For tickets, visit pawpatrollive.com.
Or you can win a family 4-pack. All you have to do is go to the original Children's Shop in downtown Wenatchee and get signed up. It's a $106 value. The original Children's Shop, downtown Wenatchee. Get there, get signed up, and win. "60 minutes after the hour, sports. February has not been kind to the Seattle Kraken. As you take a look at the standings, the second-year NHL franchise has gone 3-7 this month, and they've fallen from first to fourth in the Pacific Division. After tonight's game in St. Louis, Seattle has just 22 games left in the regular season. Since this is the first time discussing the playoffs for the Kraken, here's how it works. The top 3 teams in each division are guaranteed a playoff spot. The next 2 teams are wild card playoff teams, so if the season were to end today, by the way, it's not, it would be Vegas, LA, and Edmonton, the top 3 in the Pacific Division of the Western Conference. Dallas, Colorado, and Minnesota would represent the Central Division. Winnipeg and Seattle would fill the 2 wild card playoff spots. Kraken coach Dave Haxtell says it's extremely important for his players to understand the magnitude of the games over the next 22 games.
Obviously, there's more on the line. It's a little more serious, but at the end of the day, it's really what it's about. You're competing to win with your teammates, and these guys become family. As you grow up together throughout a year, you get to this point of the year, you want to be in the middle of this race, to be confident within that race, to be comfortable within the ups and downs of it. Are pretty special things, and we feel that that's where our group is at, and we feel that's really important. You got to be comfortable with the battle that's ahead.
Even though the Kraken have struggled pretty mightily in the month of February, Coach Haxtell says he's not considering changing his lineup. He says, "I'm going to go with the guys who got us here."
I don't know that there's a big shift. I mean, this group is. See, there's been additions throughout the year, but for the most part, this group has been together, right? This is the group that started. This is the group that's gonna finish this race. So the mindset is something that we've talked about all year. The importance of the mindset becomes greater at this time of year because the results are harder to come by. If there's any shift at all, it's just in the communication of that amongst the group. That's not just from the coaching staff to the group. That's from us to them, but also in and amongst the group themselves. Just the selfless mentality that has to take place at this time of year to be able to have success.
Matty Beniers has become a star in his second season in the NHL. He's scored 19 goals this season. The coach says the most important thing for Matty Beniers, he's winning faceoffs.
Yeah, he's seeing progression in all parts of his game, and that's going to be an area that he's got to continue growing in. Night in and night out, especially as you get to this time of year, that faceoff dots gets more and more important. It gets more and more competitive. And that's an area, you see the pride come out in guys, you see the competitiveness come out, and, Matty's growing in that area. And, there's, throughout the league, it's, a lot of times, there's a little bit of an advantage, given to the veteran player, to the star player, Matty's just got to keep, working and grinding in that area and gaining his experience. And just continuing to grow in that piece of his game.
Seattle wraps up the month of February in St. Louis to take on the Blues. That is my favorite NHL logo. I love St. Louis's logo. That'll be 5 o'clock tonight on Root Sports Northwest. It's a 4-game road trip: St. Louis, Detroit, Columbus, and Colorado. With Saturday's win over Merritt, Wenatchee Wild have secured a playoff spot. in the BCHL's postseason. The top 8 teams from each conference qualify for the playoffs. Wenatchee is currently 6th in the Interior Conference. There's only 7 games left in the regular season, so Wenatchee wants to climb into the top 4. That way they'd have home ice advantage in the first round of the playoffs, and the schedule favors a possible Wenatchee run because they play 5 of the remaining 7 games on home ice starting this Saturday when they take on Chilliwack. This is also Guns N' Hoses night. That's, of course, when the police take on local firemen in hockey. It's pretty funny. It's at 4 o'clock. Then the Wild and Chiefs will drop the puck at 6:05. Gretchen Littler and Austin Drade will be joining me on this very program tomorrow to preview Saturday night's game. It'll be a lot of fun. The Mariners stumbled against the White Sox in Cactus League baseball yesterday. Chicago had 4 extra base hits, including a home run and a 10-1 drubbing of the Mariners. The Mariners did have one highlight, Evan White. It went something like this.
High fly ball out to left. That's Benintendi racing back, and this one is going to go off the back wall of the bullpen. It's Evan White with the first run of the game going to Mariners. A home run to deep left. White back and healthy for the first time in a couple of seasons. He is a spectacular defensive first baseman, but there he showed you pop.
That was one of only 4 hits on the day. Seattle back at work in Peoria today. They'll take on the Guardians at 12:10. And those are just some of the games that people are playing on this final day of February. I had a number of obscure holidays I could have chosen. Today is National Chocolate Souffle Day. It's National Tooth Fairy Day. They actually have 2 of those in a year. I'll save that for another day. Today is National Floral Design Day. It's National Rare Disease Day. Not doing that. No. Today is National Fall Asleep in Public Day. National Public Sleeping Day. We have all done this. I think most people, like long airplane trips, especially if you have like the red eye or you fly very early in the morning. The odds are pretty good. About 70% of the people on the plane, if it's going to be a trip more than a couple hours, are going to be sleeping. So that's public sleeping. About 30 years ago, my buddy and I went to go see a baseball game in Oakland. It was the A's and the Mariners. It was a doubleheader. We sat on the third base side of the Oakland Coliseum in the sunshine on a beautiful May day, and mowed down a couple of beers through the first game of the doubleheader, and then we both fell asleep and woke up about 3 hours later, halfway through the second game. Quite sunburned, as you might imagine, so we've all fallen asleep in public. Fun facts about sleeping: divorced and widowed people suffer from insomnia more than happily married people. People who don't get enough sleep have a tendency to eat more calories when they're awake. People sleep better with a new moon than with a full moon, apparently. Apparently they figured that out. Of course, we, humans, are the only mammals that can purposely delay sleep. We can take our no-dose or our coffee or whatever and put off sleep as long as we possibly can. The biggest obstacle to getting a good night's sleep, this thing, folks, put it away. I read when I go to bed at night, but I read on my Kindle, and it doesn't screw up your eyes. Of course, a lot of people watch a lot of television, and any bright light is not really good for you when it's time to go to sleep. About 75% of people surveyed say they dream in color, and being awake for 16 consecutive hours is the same as having a blood alcohol level of 0.05%. You get a little punky when you don't get enough sleep. If you want to sleep in public, I'm all for it. I can't do that Monday through Fridays between 7 and 8 o'clock. That's verboten. It's in my contract. Don't sleep on the air, Dan. Okay, you got it. It's National Fall Asleep in Public Day today, 24 minutes after the hour. Today in history, on this date, February 28th, 1954, you could go to your local department store and pick up a color television. The very first color televisions with the NTSC format, which was the format, of course, until digital television came around. Everybody had to have the NTSC format. And you could go to your local department store on this date, February 28th, 1954, and buy the Westinghouse H840 CK15. And you got color TV at your house. Retail price for the Westinghouse H840 CK15, $1,295, which is about $13,000 in today's money. That is an expensive television. And how many color TV shows were on in February of 1954? None. but you were ready when it came. Took about a dozen years for color television to be everywhere. You can go out and buy a color TV. There was no color television programs, but you had a color TV on this date of 1954. $12,329 for a TV. I think not. Speaking of television, this is the 40th anniversary of the final episode of MASH. Goodbye, farewell, and amen. February 28th, 1983. I remember it well. It still is the highest rated single television broadcast ever. Now, there have been any number of broadcasts that had more viewers because there are more people watching television and there are more shows to watch. Super Bowls, of course, have had more viewers. But as far as a rating, a share, the percentage of televisions tuned in to any one program at any one time, it had a 61% share, which is still number one. It's still the highest rated single television episode ever. Goodbye, farewell, and amen. MASH bids farewell on this date. 40 years ago today, it was a national television event. February 28th, 1991, 32 years ago today, the Gulf War ends. Kuwait is liberated, and it's all over. Well, except for that Hussein guy. Damn. Dropped the ball on that one. The first Gulf War ends. Supposedly, 32 years ago today. There would be others. And finally, this is the 22nd anniversary of the Nisqually quake. We felt it right here in the Wenatchee Valley, February 28th, 2001. It was a beautiful, beautiful day. It was sunny and mild at about 50 degrees. I was home for lunch or my midday break because it happened like 11 o'clock in the morning. I was sitting out on my back porch reading a book, just beautiful day, and my cockatiel, my bird, started acting really, really weird. And I got up and I went inside the house, and Belle is floating all over her cage and making a sound she had never made before. I was like, what are you doing? What's wrong? I didn't really think much of it, and then I went back and sat back down, and about 30 seconds later, the quake came. I am a true believer that animals have that something that lets us know that something isn't going to be right real quick, because my bird never made any sound like that before. Never made it again. The Nisqually quake. Felt it right here, 10:54 in the morning on February 28th, 2001. 28 minutes after the hour, birthdays are all heavenly birthdays. Linus Pauling, 2 Nobel Prize in 2 entirely different disciplines. He won the Nobel Prize in Chemistry in 1954 and the Nobel Peace Prize in 1962, one of only 4 people to win more than one Nobel Prize and one of only 2 people to win a Nobel Prize in 2 entirely different disciplines. The legendary Linus Pauling, born on this date in 1901. The man who founded the Rolling Stones, who named the Rolling Stones, who picked the members, who got them gigs, and got them started. Brian Jones was born on this date 81 years ago today in 1942, drowned in his swimming pool in his backyard at the age of 27, a member of the 27 Club. Died in 1969. Yep, he formed the band, he named the band, he got them early gigs. He brought in Mick Jagger and Keith Richards, who slowly but surely took over leadership of the band for the simple fact that Brian Jones couldn't write music. He was the songwriter. Mick and Keith were. Brian Jones, the founder of the Rolling Stones, born in the state in 1942. And one living birthday, Mario Andretti is 83 years old today. He is the only driver ever to win the Indianapolis 500, the Daytona 500, and the Formula One championship. No other driver has ever done that. Mario Andretti, 83 years old today. Drive fast, turn left, my friend. 29 minutes after the hour, got an opinion from Mike Mad Dog McNaughty. Is life passing him by? Mike will let you know. And then I had a great conversation with the curator of education and programs at the Wenatchee Valley Museum and Cultural Center. They're busy. Got a lot of stuff going on. Jamie Johnson will let you know what's happening in the month of March at the museum when we come back. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life Channel.
Central Washington Water is your solution for problem water. Whether you're on a well or municipal water, they can design a clean water system custom to you. Soft water eliminates water spots and scaling on fixtures. It protects appliances from hard water damage, saving you money. Soft water reduces soap usage that causes skin irritation and is a healthier choice to drink. Call for a free in-home consultation or stop by the store to have your water tested. Central Washington Water, your best water solution for home, pool, and spa.
Come on, I'm a certified technician. I was trained to take good care of you.
9. I've only been to the dealer.
I've been coming here for years. These guys are great.
Look around. The BMW, the Jag, the Volvo, they're all waiting for regular service. Well, the BMW has a little computer issue, but that's nothing we can't handle. Come on in.
From regular maintenance to computer troubleshooting, trust the Global Car Care technicians with your import, diesel-powered, or domestic vehicle. Global Car Care. They speak your car's language.
Dankeschön. Are you dealing with a pest or weed issue and you just don't know what to do?
We use the best pest control methods approved for areas with kids and pets.
Whether it's rats, mice, ants, or spiders,
or something else altogether.
We provide the coaching and solutions you're looking for.
And you can know that your dollars are supporting a local, family-owned and operated business.
Allow us to help you get back to living healthy and pest-free. Harvest Valley Pest Control.
We were in Roseburg in the early 80s. Our oldest son, Dan, was a defensive back, a starter on that team. They set, in fact, became Oregon State champions, setting the first undefeated 14-0 season in Oregon's history. And our kids still talk about that. I go back now, too, and I think about all those great days and great times. The neat thing is that we can go back in today and still enjoy the same quality food that we enjoyed 50 years ago. That's legendary.
1989, I moved here in July. My dad farmed, my brother's still on the family farm. I worked for a dealer in Lewiston, Idaho. I was his general sales manager. My boss goes, I got a guy that may be ready for a store. We made one trip here, and that's how I ended up here. I'd never been here in my life, and I had no friends here. I have nothing, you know. I do now. I have a lot of friends here. I mean, this is my home. I love living here.
This is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and everybody's entitled to my opinion. Now, when I was a kid, I used to read stories about people who had regrets. Now, these folks would reach middle age or later, and suddenly they'd say to themselves, is this all there is? Or something like, why didn't I do so-and-so or such and such? Basically, they'd be saying that they wasted their life, their one life. Now, this made me think. I never wanted to forget that this life, my life, is a one-way trip, and I didn't want to waste mine having regrets that I didn't measure up to much. So, how have I done? You tell me. This is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and that's my opinion.
Introducing Alpine Airman. Because every home needs a superhero to eliminate poor indoor air quality, send inefficient operating equipment packing, and cut high energy bills down to size. For heating or cooling and equipment replacement, turn to the experts and the superheroes at Carrier and Alpine Air. We offer the best deals on high efficiency Carrier products, along with friendly, knowledgeable service and incredible savings to fit your budget.
Oh, look at this.
This would look really good in the kitchen.
Or the living room. Just look at it.
New windows are a work of art. Upgrade your home's windows and get way more cash back. Now through March 31st.
This is gonna look great in the house.
At Washington Trust Bank, can't is a four-letter word.
I think I'll sell my veggies at the market.
Do you even remember to water the house plants?
do this? You can do this.
Hey, we need to build a home office. We're adding another bathroom.
I think I'll study programming.
Bro, you even connect your phone to Bluetooth.
We believe you can do whatever you set your mind to, and we'll help you get there. Washington Trust Bank, privately owned, locally invested.
At D.A. Davidson in Wenatchee, they believe your investment success begins with a personalized plan. A plan that is the roadmap you need to navigate your way to living your best years in retirement. D.A. Davidson can help you create a plan so you can take the time to enjoy the finer things in life. Let the financial advisors at D.A. Davidson help chart your retirement future today.
Crystal's Intimate Lounge is a wonderful place to relax and enjoy your dining experience while taking in the breathtaking views of the mountains. And you can host your next private event at Crystal's Restaurant and Lounge, 2 blocks west of downtown Leavenworth. Enjoy the warm atmosphere of Crystal's event space and the enthusiasm of their staff. Not to mention their mouth-watering banquet menu, which has something to fit every group's needs. Reserve your date today.
Hi folks, welcome to Save Mart. How can we help you today?
We're looking for a recliner.
Okay, right this way. Go ahead and move this chase on the other side. You can use this one.
Great, I want that one. I like that one.
That's a great choice.
And I want this one as well.
Okay.
And I definitely want this one.
You'll find it at Save Mart. Full service at a low, low price.
Working with August Edge Real Estate, both sellers and buyers feel confident knowing they are in the hands of award-winning professionals. August Edge offers a 2% listing commission, which includes above-standard service and technology.
We offer high-tech 3D imagery, drone photos, local North Central Washington TV ads, and impressive smart flyer installed at your listing. The August Edge website also hosts your home with an interactive featured listing page.
August Edge is professional, personable, and preferable.
Welcome back to the program. We would be remiss if at least once a quarter, we really need to do it more often, that we visit with our friends at the Wenatchee Valley Museum and Cultural Center. They are making the transition to spring, as we are as well. March is going to be a very busy month from our friends just down the road from our studios. And Jamie, introduce yourself to our television family.
I'm Jamie. I'm with the Wenatchee Valley Museum and Cultural Center, and I'm the Curator of Education.
Curator of Education, meaning what exactly do you do?
So we do all of the education programs with schools and the community, and then we also do programs for adults like trivia nights and environmental films. But we have field trips and summer camps and spring break camps going on.
So you're busy.
Yes.
You keep plenty busy, and I always see a school bus out in front of your building, and that's good.
Yes. Yeah, we like to have that going on.
Do you how do you coordinate that with 60 kids running around your building? Is it herding cats? How does that work?
We have an amazing field trip coordinator, Tracy Trotter, who the schools can reach out to, and we kind of have a program, a system that she lets them know, what their options are and what kind of tours they can receive, and then we just put them in place, and we have a team of amazing volunteers and docents who come and show them around and teach them whatever they want to learn.
Do the kids, can you hang your hat on, hey, these kids are getting it, or these kids are liking this, or is this just a field trip so they don't care because they're not in school?
I mean, it's different for every group.
Do you see the kids have these aha moments? Does that happen?
They definitely are into it and excited about the exhibits, and because usually they're learning something at school that has to do with what they're coming to see and tour. So they seem to really like that. And then for our sorting out race exhibit that we have right now, we have a scavenger hunt with prizes at the end. So those always go over well.
Yeah, the last big thing we did that you had, it was all those hands-on things. It was that science deal.
Yeah, the Zoo and You.
Yeah.
Yes, the kids loved that one. Yeah, it's really good.
Although there were a couple of those that were really loud.
Yes.
Too. That It's a museum. It's not supposed to be loud.
Oh no, I like it to be loud.
Yeah.
If it's loud and they're having a good time, then it feels like it's alive and like you said, they're engaged. Yeah.
So the sorting out race exhibit. Let's start with that because that goes through the end of March before it runs out. So if you've been putting it off, you get on it. What is that exactly?
It's amazing. It was put together with a collection from thrift store finds, and then they added information to help you know, like, why is this particular artifact? Why is it racist? And so it's highly educational and eye-opening and quite moving. And it's also fun to kind of go through the scavenger hunt and see what you can find and figure it out. But they have a collection of books. It's really well done. So we have it downstairs and upstairs, so there's 2 parts to it.
Now, is this a traveling exhibit that comes in and then it's going to move to another museum? So you have it for the end of this month?
We have it through the end of March. And yes, it is a traveling museum. So I'm not sure where it goes after us, but I think it's somewhere in the vicinity, in the Pacific Northwest, if I remember.
What are the challenges of laying out those kinds of traveling exhibits? Because they need X amount of floor space and it has to have a certain flow to it and that kind of stuff. Is it?
Well, our curator of exhibits could answer that better than me. That's Casey Koski. And what I understand, a lot of it is scheduling is the first part.
Yeah.
Kind of scheduling with other exhibits that you want to bring in, and then obviously getting things into the building and placed. The nice thing about this exhibit is that they came and set it up for us, but usually we have to, put everything together and get a bunch of volunteers to help move things. If they're larger exhibits, like the ZooNU was a big one to move in because it had big pieces. So.
But it was cool.
It was very cool.
It was cool. I wish it was still there, but it's not anymore.
Yeah.
This Friday is the first Friday of the month of March, and there's always something going on. And this month it's
we have the high school art show, and they have, oh my gosh, it's amazing the pieces that are up right now in the gallery. We also have the Beauty of Bronze pieces on display as well. So yeah, people can come in. They can vote for the winning piece of art. Right now, we have a box to vote in right in the middle of the.
So this is an adjudicated kind of a competition for the high school kids around here.
Yeah, it's a competition, and I highly recommend coming in to check it out and supporting our local artists, up and coming artists.
A little bit of everything. Is there painting, sculptures,
yeah,
that kind
everything,
of stuff?
Yeah, all over the place. Mostly wall art, but yeah, there's a little bit of everything.
We got some pretty talented kids around here doing this stuff.
I'm blown away. Yeah, we have some amazing kids. Yeah, so I'm surprised too by how much art there is. So, yeah, people should come in
and kids
check
get to
it
know that, hey, if people actually like it, they kind of like it.
Yeah.
So, yeah. That's at the museum on First Fridays. Also, you do something at the Wells House on the First Fridays.
Yep, we give tours at the Wells House on First Fridays, and on Saturday, we also have Family Saturdays. So from 4 o'clock on Friday to close, we have free entry, and then same on Saturday, it's free entry to the museum, the first Friday and Saturday of the month.
But the museum itself is still pretty darn,
Yeah, it's reasonable. You can anytime you want to come in.
And they have the reciprocal arrangements. Don't forget about that. So if you join the museum as a member, you can get into other museums at incredibly discounted prices. Some nice, really cool stuff too. And that goes both ways. You have people who are members of other museums in the area.
Yeah, you can
that when they're in Wenatchee, they come by. and
There's
do that
different
stuff.
varied memberships if you want to be a regional member or if you want to be just a member of one museum.
You like your job?
I love it. It's fun. I mean, I get to play with kids, and I get to, have an amazing team that we have a ton of fun together planning summer camps and spring break camps.
We'll talk about those.
Yeah, the next one coming up is spring break camp, the 3rd through the 7th, and it is an engineering camp. So we're going to be doing different projects every day where the kids get to engineer something fun and creative, and it's just going to be messy and loud and wild and fun, just the
But
way
you
we
like it messy, loud,
I
and
do,
wild
yeah.
and fun. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Here's a question and we talked about these organized field trips from schools that come in. They work with Tracy to coordinate these things. What about homeschooled kids and stuff like that? How does that work? Did mom or dad call them up and say we want to do something?
The same. They call, and we have had some small groups come in like that. Maybe teams of parents or a link schools can kind of call the museum, and we'll put them in touch with Tracy, and she coordinates all of that beautifully and make sure they get the programs that they want to walk through.
And you mentioned spring camps. Let's talk about summer camps while I have you
Yeah.
here, because I'm bored. It ain't going to take too long when school's out, and you can keep the kids occupied and make sure
summer-
the brain doesn't get soft.
I know. Summer camp. I'm really excited about our summer camps this year because we are doing something pretty different. We're trying to be a little more outdoor focused while it's not too hot and smoky. And we start the second week of July, so after the 4th of July, after that week we'll start. And we have Kids in the Forest week, we have a Sasquatch week, we have a Watershed week. We have all kinds of different fun things going on outside. So.
And how are those programs picked? How do you decide? Do you go with hey, this worked in years past, we need to do this every year, or this wasn't so hot? How do you figure
These
that
ones
out?
are all brand new, and they're kind of based on partners that I've been talking to throughout the year, different organizations like Evergreen Mountain Bike Alliance or Wenatchee River Institute. People that have ideas and programs that we can work around and build something around. And the Sasquatch one was just it's our state cryptid, and it's just we have some local experts that we can talk to and pull in, and just trying to work with what we have in the community and really feature that as much as possible.
I take it you're talking about Paul?
Yes,
Paul,
yeah.
Paul's done my show before.
Yeah.
Yes. Trivia nights at the museum. That's back. In fact, I think it's on St. Patrick's Day this year, right?
It is, yeah. So
Uh-oh.
those have been amazing, and actually, so many people attend. I think we're just at capacity. I don't know. I think we could have a huge trivia night if we had a bigger space. But they've been wonderful. They're for teens and adults. And for the February one, the Knowledge Bowl team from the high school came. So we had a couple high school teams that joined us. But they're super fun. I've built a team of question masters who help us come up with questions all over the board, from Wenatchee-centric questions to things about technology, or it could be anything.
And they walk me through. They compete as teams, and you work your
So
way
we
up.
try to have teams of around 8. And then, you compete as a team, and we have prizes and a raffle at the end. And there's snacks and beer and wine and sodas and things available too.
Well, you got me at beer right there on that kind of deal.
Yeah.
So is the museum is very much keeping up with the times, right? The museum isn't some stodgy, dusty, gray, cold place where you just look at things that are old and leave. It's not how museums are anymore, are they?
No, I think one of the things that gets me is when there's children in the museum and someone's telling them, "Shh, be quiet," and I'm like, "No, be loud, get excited." This is a fun place to be, and I feel like we've been doing a good job of that this last year, having. Night at the museum was loud and fun and full, and our haunt nights, and we're just continuing through that with the spring. Some more tours, and we're adding some wine tours and more bus tours this year. So
it's good to be busy, isn't it?
Yes. If you have a good team, it really is fun.
The haunt at the museum over Halloween, that was good.
Yes.
We got a behind the scenes tour. That was very well done.
They did an amazing job, and the volunteers who put that together and were scarers were dedicated and creative, and it was very scary.
And they did a really good job of incorporating parts of the museum that's not open to the general public, and that's probably the really cool part of all.
Yeah.
They were able to use their imagination in the basement and the bowels and the other sections of the museum that normally people can't go to.
Yeah, the basement was really creepy. It was great.
Yeah. And the basement is creepy without being decorated too. It's what else is on your mind while I have you here? Do we touch? Have we forgotten anything?
The spring break camp is the big one.
I was going to ask how people sign up for that. How do they go about doing that?
So they can go on our website right now and sign up for spring break camp and register their children. It's like I said, it's engineering camp. So we'll have a a different project every day. But yeah, just go on our website and you can see all the activities. You can sign up for everything there. So go to our events calendar and see what's going on. And if people want to volunteer, that's a good way to pick what you want to volunteer for as well. And we're always looking for more people who want to help out with trivia nights or help out at camp or be docents. So yeah.
To volunteer, do you need a skill set, or you can just...
You can have any skill set.
Okay. So even an idiot like me can volunteer.
Anybody can volunteer. We can always find something for people to do. And yeah, just reach out to the museum, info@wvmcc.org, and let them know you want to volunteer. And our volunteer coordinator will reach out and get you started.
They will respond to your email. Everything we're talking about, by the way, is at the museum's website. So just go to the calendar. It's all right there. And in fact, you have an event every day in March, essentially.
It feels like it. It's been getting harder and harder to find a spot to put some of the things I want because we already have so much going on. So
that's a real problem to have. It's a champagne problem. So thanks for coming by, Jamie. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Say hi to all my friends at the Wenatchee Valley Museum and Cultural Center. And Tracy did a great job of sitting on the floor and watching us.
Yes, thank you, Tracy, for joining us.
That's good. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. We'll be right back.
If you could live anywhere, where would it be? What would it be like? With today's home values, this is the perfect time to sell and make those dreams real. When you work with a world-class agent at Coldwell Banker, you benefit from trusted guidance and our revolutionary seller's assurance program to make your home sale more rewarding than ever. So it really is true. Your dreams don't have to be just dreams.
All paws on deck with Ryder and the crew as they set sail in an all-new live stage show. Paw Patrol Live, The Great Pirate Adventure. X marks the spot in this exciting, action-packed live show full of singing, dancing, and patrolling the high seas. For more information on how to join the heroic pups, you can go to pawpatrollive.com.
Playing Town Toyota Center March 21st and 22nd. For tickets, visit pawpatrollive.com.
You don't have to be a member to enjoy the view and dine in style at Highlander Bar and Grill, located in East Wenatchee. Highlander Golf Course has added 2 state-of-the-art full-swing simulators. Food and drink service is available from our full-service bar and grill, offering breakfast, lunch, and dinner 7 days a week. Indoor and outdoor seating available. Call Shalane, our on-site coordinator, to schedule your special event.
The agents of Kennedy Real Estate Group are committed to providing the ideal client experience. We believe in the power of relationships. Why? Because we don't just work here, we live here. From the nonprofits we serve, the parks where we play, and the local businesses we support, our team understands the value of living in the Wenatchee Valley. Let's begin your real estate story.
When you call Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning, you're calling on 35 plus years of experience in the Wenatchee Valley. Spending extra time in your home, you may have discovered an unwanted aroma. Stinky feet, pets, who knows what. Call Dick's today about installing their Train Clean Effects electronic air cleaner or a Rheem Halo ultraviolet air purifier. Either way, the air quality in your home will be improved. Proudly servicing all of North Central Washington, call 884-6444 today.
And we are back on this final day of February 2023. It is a Tuesday. Before we get any deeper into wrapping up this program, just checked with the DOT. Stevens Pass is still closed. They're doing avalanche control work. They started at 7 o'clock this morning. And so you can't get all the way through on Stevens Pass. You can make it up to the summit if you plan on going skiing, but that's as far as you're going to get. Haven't reopened it yet. And if you need to get going over the river and through the woods right now, traction tires are advised. Blewett. Blewett doesn't look too bad with some light snow coming down and some compact snow and ice on the roadway. But chains are required on I-90, Snoqualmie Pass, unless you have an all-wheel drive vehicle. So pretty dicey right now on I-90. Blewett isn't too bad at all, but Stevens is a no-go until they reopen it because they're doing avalanche control work. They've had a lot of snow in the Cascades. We, of course, had some light snow just as predicted from the National Weather Service. Had some light snow during the day. Came down pretty good for a while overnight, and then it kind of stopped snowing at about 4 o'clock this afternoon. Most of the main arterials are okay. Some of the highways and some of the streets around here, the neighborhood streets that have a pretty good grade to them, though, are a little on the dicey side. We have a minute or two, so let's go ahead and, courtesy of Local-Tel Sky-Fi Division, take one more look around the cameras that we have for you around north central Washington. That is Lower Navarre, is that correct, Uriah? Lower Navarre on your way up to Lake Chelan. Everybody has a fresh coating of snow. You can see the blue skies. They're coming. They're not quite here to the Wenatchee Valley yet, but we are going to see some sunshine this afternoon, which means we're going to see some snow melt, but it also means that the snow that melts and the temperature is going to drop very quickly once the sun goes down. That means we could see some black ice develop tonight into Wednesday morning. It's certainly, I would have to say, in many locations, it could very much be a concern, especially on bridges and overpasses, because the road temperatures there get colder than those surface streets. Camera 2, I believe it's off to the Upper Butte. Wow. Good morning to Lake Chelan. You're down there somewhere. What a dramatic shot that is. That camera is about 4,000 feet in elevation. Just a stunning view there. So Lake Chelan, you're down there somewhere. Look at the clouds, and that is just crazy. That's like being in an airplane. What a spectacular view there. Chelan, you will see the sun peek out in just a few minutes as well. Right now it is 26 in downtown Chelan. Stamen Flats checks in. Good morning to Stamen Flats, the mighty Columbia River. This is pretty close to decision-making time on your way up north to Lake Chelan. Stamen Flats is, do I take the Navarra Coulee and spit myself out at the state park, or do I keep right on 97A, climb up the grade through the Knaps Hill Tunnel, and you drop yourself in at Lake Chelan at Pat and Mike's? That's the Stamen Flats area and the Columbia River, and a pretty good swath of Douglas County. Again, low clouds and fog still prevalent there. Let's see what Billy Goat looks like. Ooh, another stunning view from Billy Goat. Again, the sun is starting to burn off the clouds and the fog up Billy Goat way. I don't know how much snow Okanagan got in Omak. Probably more than the Wenatchee Valley. You can still see some spittles of snow to be had up there. And my guess is a lot of those residential streets in that area, in the Pateros and the Methow Valley, what have you, are probably pretty darn slick. They had a little bit more snow. It's a little bit colder. It's going to take a little while for the roadways to get back to barren wet or barren dry conditions. Well, let's talk about the 6 to 10 day long-term forecast from the Climate Prediction Center. These are the folks who take a look at all the computer models and the history, and they say, okay, what do we be looking at for the first full week of March? This takes you through March 5th through the 9th. This came out yesterday afternoon. As you can see, we have a very good, about a 100% chance of the Pacific Northwest seeing our temperatures below normal. Now, we've been in a fairly sizable stretch of not seeing our temperatures get up to normal, and it looks like that is going to be prevalent right on into March. We are in for a colder than normal start to March, which begins at midnight tonight. As far as precipitation is concerned, about 50-50, probably right around normal for precipitation. So it looks to be cold and dry to begin March. Now, you remember last April, we had the coldest and wettest April ever recorded since they started keeping track of these things back in 1931. Records go back 90 years, and we had the coldest and wettest April ever. It looks like March, as far as precipitation is concerned, is going to start out fairly normal, but it is going to be cold. We're in for a cold period of weather as we welcome March. So in detail from our friends at Apple Valley Honda and the National Weather Service. Sun is already starting to peek out. We'll see sunshine for most of the afternoon, but a couple of stray snowflakes not out of the question. We'll get up to right around 37 degrees. We're still at 25 outside of our studios. Clear tonight, quite cold. 19 for the overnight low. We'll be into the teens. Clear skies, no blanket. That means chilly, and that means that we do have the possibility of some black ice and some slick roads for your Wednesday morning commute. Outside of that, still sunshine and a high of 38. Now keep in mind our normal high this time of the year is 46. Not going to get there through the forecast period. Weak system comes in Wednesday night into Thursday. There'll be some snow in the upper elevations, but we'll see mostly sunny conditions with maybe rain on Thursday and a high of 44 degrees. Thursday night into Friday, we'll have a slight chance of some snow, and I mean a slight chance. 27 for the overnight low. We get into the weekend. Friday, quite a bit of sunshine, maybe some light snow late in the day on Friday. with a high of 42. And then another system, this one packing a pretty good punch. Get a roll in Friday night into Saturday. Saturday morning, we are going to wake up to some snow. It'll switch over to a rain-snow mix by Saturday afternoon, but a high of only 34, very chilly, and maybe some lingering snow on Sunday as well. That's it for us. Have a good and safe Tuesday. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.